In this week's episode, we take a look at this week's retro news.
And go through the full list for the Genesis Mini 2. I'm Phil.
And I'm Barry. This is episode 63 of the Retro Gaming Dads podcast, the podcast for everything retro and retro-inspired. As always, just before we start, I'd like to say a massive thank you to our Patreon subscribers, Short Gizmo and Bobby Socks. Your continuing support is very much appreciated. So, it looks like you've tagged in for Anthony yet again.
I know, shocking. And just in time for us to talk about the Genesis Mini 2, almost like it was fate or something, I don't know.
No offense to Anthony when you're listening to this, but I'd rather talk about Mega Drive games with someone who, actually knew what a Mega Drive was.
And not the new system that NASA are using for faster than light travel.
Yeah. When you sent me that link, it was like, NASA is going to achieve FTL drive with the Mega Drive. I was like, the Mega Drive? I know it's got blast processing, but that's taking it a bit too far. And then I thought, oh, no, I massively misunderstood that headline.
Yeah, just a bit. I love the name. The name's great. So yeah. I thought, I'm having to send that one across.
Well, as I said, Anthony's off on his holidays again. I was actually on my holidays last week. Went down to Plymouth to see my mum and ended up coming back with a Super Nintendo Mini and a Sega Master System 1.
That sounds like a win.
I actually found this retro shop, unfortunately. It was like 10 minutes before closing. I managed to find it. It was on the last day that was there, so I didn't get to have a proper look. Shop called Revival Games. Honestly, everywhere I looked, it was like, oh, look at that over there. Look at that over there.
You basically, you was singing the what's this song from Nightmare Before Christmas? What's this? What's this?
Yeah.
And Mega Drive over there.
But no, it wasn't what's this. It's that. I went in and was like, oh, you got, I can see like a couple of Mega Drive games, Streets of Rage, that's fair. I was like, oh, they've got a Lynx. They've got an Atari Lynx. They've got a Master System 1. They've got the Ghostbusters Fire Station toy. They've got that. They even had a little, is it 8080s from Star Wars? The
8080s are the four-legged ones. 80STs.
So it was an 8080, like quite a big model. Look, there's a little Robotnik sound inside of it. And the guy, I think his name was Paul, I can't remember. I was talking to him. I feel really bad because I turned up like 5 minutes before they were due to shut and only left like 15 minutes after he should have gone home. just talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I've got games in the back that I haven't even sorted." And honestly, he opened it. I'd pay money to just go in that back room and see what he had in there. I'm looking in and going, I can see a Mega Drive with Sonic the Hedgehog boxed over there. I can see Dreamcast games. I can see. I was like, oh. And Kerry's like, "Isn't it just old computers?" Like, yeah.
It's not just old computers.
It's all sorts. He had like an Atari 400. I'm not so much of an old Atari guy, but he had like Atari 400. There was an Amiga 500, Master Systems Mega Drive. He had a 32X, and I was really contemplating getting the 32X.
Oof, but that wasn't been cheap though.
Yes, I think he said it was $220. Got me Master System, and from I think it was like a cash converter or something, I got a Super Nintendo Mini.
You say 220. Now, put that into context. How much is a Series S?
Well, oddly enough, in the same cash converters, they had Series S for 130 quid unboxed.
Well, there we go.
I know, it's 32X. It gets me one step closer to getting Knuckles Chaotix.
Gets you one step closer to actually having a proper Tower of Power.
Oh, yeah. Tower of Power. I'll have to go back to Plymouth, not to see me mum, but to go back to this game shop. Because we've got a couple up here. There was the one in whatever. Is it still called Quiggins in Liverpool?
No, Grand Central
or something.
I think that's closed now.
Oh, was it? Oh, it shows how often I go there. Well, last time I went in, it was like a little tiny room, weren't it? With some games. And that was it.
Well, when I last went, they moved into the basement and they had a fair amount of space, and it wasn't too bad. But I think it's gone. I think the whole building is shut.
Oh yeah, honestly, everywhere I looked, I was like, oh my god. I even nearly bought Sonic Adventure 2 as well, which I found out I'm actually missing.
You're missing Sonic Adventure 2?
Yeah, and I remembered exactly where it went.
What?
I swapped it with you for a Nintendo 64.
Huh. I don't remember that.
That's where my Sonic Adventure 2 went. I have got other versions of Sonic Adventure 2, just not the PAL blue box version. If anyone's in Plymouth, Revival Games, I definitely recommend going.
Well, speaking of retro games, almost like that's what this podcast is about.
Occasionally it is.
Well, yeah. The first game on the list that we were going to talk about actually was about a new retro-inspired cyberpunk game.
I just saw a trailer for this, and it looks pretty good. Again, I'm glad you're here, because it's not Anthony's sort of game, because it's turn-based.
Turn-based, isometric-ish RPG? No, I don't
It's
think.
not isometric. Stop going on about everything being isometric. It's a top-down view. It's a top-down view.
Okay, top-down
No, but
view.
it looks pretty good. So it's like a JRPG cyberpunk kind of game.
Yeah, I like the animation looks very fluid on it. That's one thing I particularly liked about it.
Is this the in-game animation or like the cutscenes animation? Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. We best actually say what the game's called so people know what we're on about. So it's called Jack Move, and I'll be honest, I'm not keen on the name. It sounds a bit throw a dart at a dictionary. Picked one word, throw it again. Picked another word. There you go. That's our game's name.
Well, I think what they're going with is that cyberpunk trope of jacking in.
Yeah, I get that, but it's
looking at it, it's got like a very parkoury sort of theme, hence the move. So
yeah,
I'm not saying I agree that it's a good name. I'm just saying.
Now that you mention it, from at least the anime sequence and the bits of gameplay in the trailer, it does give me kind of a cyberpunk feeling, but mixed with a bit of Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
No, I see where you're coming from. It's still a bad name, though,
it's a terrible name. It is a terrible name. I agree with that.
So generic.
It is very generic.
But this is coming to PC on the 8th of September and consoles on the 20th of September. And in a turn of events, it's actually coming to the Xbox. A lot of these games don't seem to be coming to Xbox at the moment.
See, I know what's going to happen. You're going to buy it, and then a week later it'll be on Game Pass.
No, I'll pre-order it, and then on launch day it'll go into Game Pass. That's usually what happens.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
In all fairness, I haven't bought an Xbox game in, I don't know, a long time.
Elden Ring was the last one I bought.
The last thing I paid for was DLC for Generation Zero.
Fair enough.
That was a £5. Actually, even then, I just used my Microsoft points. It's got to be an upshot to using Bing for your search engine, hasn't there? It looks a pretty cool JRPG. It seems a bit gimmicky, but rather than just have like fight, items, magic, you actually have commands that you run on like your cyber deck. So it's install, execute, stuff like that. And instead of mana or technique points or whatever, it's data. So you're using up your data to actually do these skills.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I like that. It is a cool idea.
Yeah, let's just hope they're not on O2. In that case, the data will be running out pretty quick. If anyone wants to play this, there is actually a demo available on Steam at the moment, which is called Jack Move Icebreaker, or ICE Breaker. So go and give it a try.
So, upcoming events. We've got a few coming up, actually. We've got the Disney and Marvel Showcase on the 9th of September.
Yeah, I'm curious. Can Disney and Marvel fill up a whole event? I'm not sure what they'd show off.
Bear in mind, Disney and Marvel covers a lot. So there could be Star Wars games in there, Marvel games in there, Disney games in there.
I'll give you that. I completely forgot about Star Wars.
Disney are huge. So yeah, I can see them filling an event.
Because I can't see there being like another Mickey Mania or anything coming out anytime soon. So I can't see much from the Disney aspect. I know they have got that Disney Life Sim that they've shown off earlier in the year.
Well, I'd like to see a Fallen Order 2.
Oh, yeah, no, that is coming out, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to see more.
Announced it's coming out. I don't know if there's been a trailer.
Oh,
yeah, I suppose I completely forgot about Star Wars. Because I was just thinking Disney. I'm literally Marvel. I would imagine they'll probably show that Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, would they show anything else? Maybe Wolverine or the new Spider-Man? Or would that be more of a Sony event that they'd show them off on?
Spider-Man would definitely be Sony. I don't think that'll be shown. I don't think that'll be shown at a Disney Marvel event. It might be. Might be wrong. But I reckon that'd be more Sony. But The other one is we might actually get some news about what's going on with the remake of Knights of the Old Republic.
Isn't that all? Oh, the remake, sorry.
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant the
The
re-release. And I
remaster.
was like, it
No.
got remastered. I remember it being terrible. I
No,
remember it being uncompletable.
they're remaking it, but it's getting a little bit into development hell. So
Yeah,
it's
I
gone
was
from
going to
one
say,
developer and going to another.
thinking
It's
of that game,
moving.
it's not a small game, is it?
Oh, it's no,
You know,
no,
it's
it's
an
not.
old game, but it's definitely
Oh,
not a small game.
I completed it relatively recently again,
Yeah.
about a year or two ago. Phenomenal game, amazing game.
I need to go through. I don't think I ever completed it. I might have completed the first one, but you can get them on mobiles now, or can't you?
Yeah,
iOS.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
maybe I'll have to look at that.
But who knows? We might finally find some news out about it.
Possibly. And the only other game I could think of was Kingdom Hearts 4. We have had that trailer. Oh, sorry, teaser. But I think that'd be more a Square Enix presentation than a Disney one.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it all depends on how much Disney are forking over, though, doesn't it?
Got a feeling just from what I'm seeing that Square seems to be going more away from the Disney IP with Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts.
yeah, maybe. The other thing potentially as well is Mighty EA have a new Star Wars game in the works. Because there was talk of that longer, more RPG-esque one they were doing, the more open world one.
Is this the one where they were saying they were focusing more on a single player title?
Yes. So there might be something around that, or there might be just another Battlefront.
Let's hope it doesn't have surprise mechanics in this one as much.
Yay, surprise mechanics. Everyone loves surprise mechanics.
Everyone loves them. Everyone who works at EA.
Yeah.
Well, their
Yeah.
shareholders.
There's nothing like getting a new game, pulling out your credit card and winning the game.
Oh, just really quickly, because I got to talk about Sonic at some point. Sonic Origins. It's already leaked that there's DLC. The game's not even got a release date yet.
It was always going to have DLC.
Well,
It's modern gaming.
I know, and I understand they plan it ahead, but I don't want to be hearing about DLC before the game's even released.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Anyway, it's not just Disney and Marvel which have got the event coming up. Day
Nope.
after on the 10th, we've got an Ubisoft one, Ubisoft Forward.
Yeah, Ubisoft have so many games. I mean, we could be seeing a new Division.
I'd like to see a new Division. I don't know whether I'd like to see a new Splinter Cell more, though.
I'd love to see a new Splinter Cell, but not done like the latest Splinter Cells. More akin to like the Chaos Theory style Splinter Cell.
Yeah. Do you mean more based around stealth?
Yes.
The last one, what was it? Blacklist?
Yeah, I think it was Blacklist.
That was quite action because you built up like that skill where you could just snipe everyone, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could play it in a few different ways. Well, they sold it as being
Yeah.
able to play it in a few different ways, Ghost, Panther, etc. But it did just boil down to I target everything and I kill them all.
Yeah.
And then just run through it. It would be
Well,
nice to see a more...
We had a lot of fun on that, didn't we?
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not that it wasn't fun. It'd just be nice to see it go back towards its roots and be a lot more focused around, sneaking past guards, getting in without even being seen. Proper covert, not just I am a modern day action day hero with a gun and I'm killing everybody.
Yeah, I'm going in stealthily as a dive through the window and snipe the 5 guys inside Max Payne style.
Yeah, exactly. Something a bit more grounded in the original Tom Clancy realism.
Yeah, maybe a few less exploding building set pieces as well.
Yeah.
You know, a bit more espionage and intrigue.
Exactly. When you play a Splinter Cell game, that's what you want. You want espionage, you want intrigue, you want stealth. If you want to blow everybody up, play Rainbow Six.
Yeah. Then again, this is modern Ubisoft and Tom Clancy games, so it'll probably have aliens in it.
Yeah, let's not go there. Tom Clancy, that well-known sci-fi author.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, I imagine we're going to see something to do with Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah,
it's
definitely.
Ubisoft, we have to.
Yeah.
If there's anything that's guaranteed, it's going to be that they're going to show Assassin's Creed and Just Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Far Cry? I'm trying to think what else I would imagine seeing.
Yeah, maybe. There might be a Far Cry. The other one might be a Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
Because it's been a little while since we had Breakpoint.
Yeah, apparently they're still doing that, but kind of like a semi-live service sort of title. I
Yeah.
haven't been on it in quite a while.
But again, I think Ghost Recon's one that could look at going back towards its roots rather than the open world shooting game that it turned into.
Yeah, I felt like Ghost Recon basically turned into the Division minus the RPG elements with a bigger map.
It really did. It got rid of a lot of the future soldier aspects that is what was sold on the Ghost Recon games.
Yeah, well, similar to Rainbow Six, the first game on that, I remember spending more time
Oh God.
planning the mission than actually executing the mission.
Yeah, if you planned it all properly, you didn't even need to touch the controls.
No, yeah, exactly. Often, if you did touch the controls, you were the one who messed it up.
Yeah.
I remember going, "Oh look, there's a oh, I'm dead."
Yeah, generally it was a much more tactical game. I can understand why they took that towards a more actiony route. And you know what? I actually think the sweet spot for the Rainbow Six games was Vegas and Vegas 2. I
Oh
really enjoyed
yeah,
Vegas 2.
they were fantastic. Terrorist hunt.
Terrorist Hunt, yeah. Terrorist Hunt in...
What was it? Kill House. Right, hide at the end of the corridor behind the barrel. One of us run out with machine gun spray, come running back, and there's like 50 terrorists just charging after.
There was that one level where you'd go underground and you'd wait by a ladder and shoot a bell, and then without doubt, come start walking down the ladder. So you just shoot them, and then the next one would look down, start climbing down the ladder.
But
Get this pile of bodies.
One of those terrorists, he comes up to this hole, looks down, and he goes, "Oh, there's a ladder. Oh, there's a pile of corpses. I'll go down there."
Yeah, the AI could do with a bit of a revamp.
Yeah, and maybe less spawning enemies in like right behind you.
Oh
as
God,
well.
yeah. Well, I think that's the biggest problem with Siege. Siege's terrorist hunt stuff just spawned in all around you. It didn't have the same feel.
It did that on Vegas as well.
It didn't feel as bad though on Vegas.
Yeah, I think because Siege, although don't get me wrong, the stages are really well done. It's essentially just one building.
Yeah.
And I think Siege had a couple of streets, two opposing buildings. It was just a little bit more open, I felt.
Yeah.
Even if ultimately they might have actually been smaller, they definitely felt larger.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, after Ubisoft has got their event, we actually have Tokyo Game Show the week following it as well.
There's always going to be stuff from Nintendo.
I don't know. They tend to do the mini directs now, don't they?
I suppose there is that, yeah.
I reckon we might see Sega and Atlus.
That'd be nice.
So perhaps we might actually see some more information about the Persona series coming to like the Xbox and the Switch and that as well.
Japanese RPGs coming to the Xbox.
I know. Can you?
Shocking.
That's like 2 of them in the history of the Xbox now, isn't it?
I know.
Final Fantasy that one time. Although in all fairness, we did get 2 sequels to the same Final Fantasy game.
You know what though? If they announce that Persona's coming for the Xbox, I mean that's clearly Microsoft buying Sega.
You definitely haven't listened to our previous podcast episodes then, have you? It's coming to the Xbox.
That's what I mean. So Sega are obviously being bought by Microsoft.
Oh yeah, they just need to do it. They just need to do it. It's like one of these soaps where you're going, at the end, those two, they're going to get together. That's basically what this is with Sega and Microsoft.
It's getting to that point. Who knows? Maybe Microsoft may flash the cash and actually buy Square Enix.
Well, I'm sure Sony will have a hissy fit about that as well. Have you heard about them?
Well, they're not happy with the Activision acquisition, are they?
Yeah. Oh, well, but they can't buy Activision because Call of Duty, it's its own genre, and if they buy it, they'll not be the only one with that genre. What? First-person shooter. Like, practically half of the games that are rated T14 or higher.
It's because for the past generation and a half, Sony's entire business model has been let's buy a few little bits for Call of Duty before anybody else gets them. And for other Activision games...
With like Modern Warfare 1 and 2, it was the other way around. It was Sega. It was Microsoft who had the exclusivity to like early DLC and stuff like that.
I disagree with that as well. No company should get exclusive DLC. It only hurts gamers.
Yeah, well, the big one was Destiny. You know,
Destiny
an exclusive raid and all sorts on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
I don't think I mind exclusive, maybe cosmetics, and maybe early access, like a week's early access to DLC or something.
I don't mind exclusive cosmetics. Exclusive cosmetics makes sense. Even perhaps, like Soul Calibur did, exclusive characters for each
Where
release.
you had Link, Hitachi.
Yeah, Hitachi and
Hitachi, or was that a brand of TV? Anyway,
something like that. The guy from Tekken.
And then Spawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was Zelda, Tekken guy, and comic book guy.
That makes it sound like it's the guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? I bet you they would have sold a lot more Xbox copies if it was comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Imagine it. But I don't mind that kind of exclusivity because everybody's got something and it gives you a reason to get them all.
To paraphrase The Incredibles, when everyone's exclusive, no one is exclusive.
Exactly. Calm down though, bad guy. that idea of there's exclusivity for them all equally, so that it makes sense to buy a copy on each.
Yeah, everyone gets like a really good character except Xbox, who gets shafted.
Are you kidding? Spawn's considered like one of the best characters that's been released.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you want him over Link?
No, but that's not the point.
Exactly.
That's not the point.
If it was Master Chief, now that would have been completely different.
Yeah. At the time, would Microsoft really have let Master Chief be licensed and something like that?
Well, God knows, he's in Fortnite now.
Is he?
Yeah, well, it was about a year or so ago.
Bloody hell.
He's a Fortnite character now.
Everybody's in Fortnite. That's how you know you've made it. You're in Fortnite. Yeah. Soon we'll be hearing your voice as a voiceover. That's how you know you've made it. You're in Fortnite.
Imagine me in Fortnite. What the hell is going on?
I've never played this game before.
Yeah. Well, no, sorry, I have played it, but when I played it, Battle Royale wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
What was it called? Save the World.
Save the World. Did not like that game.
Save the Cheerleader, Save the World.
Did like that TV series.
First season, yeah. Anyway, we've kind of just gone off a little tangent. Just
only a tiny one. Only a tiny one.
Going back to Tokyo Game Show, Sega Atlas, I would imagine maybe some Persona stuff, some Sonic Origins stuff. I believe we should get a trailer for Sonic Origins soon with a release date, and I think it's going to be like November-ish. I think everyone's pointing towards.
That'd be good.
As long as the game's finished.
Is it going to be another Sonic 2006?
I hope not. I really hope not.
Question, was the last Sonic game good?
The last one? Sonic Origins was okay. It wasn't as polished as it should have been, though. Something we'll actually talk about in a moment. Before that, Sonic Mania. Amazing. Sonic Forces, for all the flack that it gets, I really enjoyed. Story was absolute garbage. I'd just remove the story from it. It'd actually make the game better. It's got a really good premise. Robotnik wins. Imagine the world. Robotnik's won. And Tails, Knuckles, Amy, 50 million other characters you don't care about are all like on the back foot, hiding underground. Sonic's been captured. And you're like, oh, this sounds like it's going to be amazing. They're like, Sonic's been tortured for the last 6 months. Like, oh, this is getting dark.
Knuckles, what's the sit rep, Commander?
Happy to see you're all still alive. Eggman's forces have chewed through our defenses at Green Hill, and the resistance in the city is reporting that whatever it is that finished Sonic... Sorry, I'm still not used to saying that. Whatever it is has got them running in fear.
There
is no reason to resist. There is no... I can taste your terror, child. All that anxiety and doubt. It's delicious. Give in to your fear. Flee screaming, and I'll let you live.
And it cuts to Sonic, and you're like, doesn't seem like he's been touched.
Foolish hedgehog. Getting out of your chains does not make you free. Now, come and face the inevitable.
Ha! The only thing inevitable here is my foot kicking your butt.
Yeah. And then you need to get everyone's nightmare fuel together in the Sonic fan art.
My old character was pretty sick. Do not steal. No, as a game I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate playing it. I hated watching the sequences, cringy as anything. And not even a good way. You know, all the old Sonic games are like, yeah, it's about believing in yourself and teamwork and, you know, helping others. This is, I don't know, a sun was teleported in at one point. And there was like an army of OG characters. I really can't remember the end of it. The story was bad.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we might see some other Japanese-centric companies like maybe Capcom.
Yeah.
I know they've got a new Street Fighter coming out, which seems to have like an RPG mode in it.
Well, that'd be interesting.
You play like this sort of like blank slate character, and I think you kind of go round Shenmue style, which oddly enough, Shenmue was supposed to be a Virtua Fighter RPG.
Yeah.
And I think you can learn different moves, you know, and customize your character that way.
That could be quite cool. Will we see something from Konami that's not a pachinko machine?
No, not a chance.
I really wish they would sell their IPs on.
Yeah, definitely. I'll buy Rocket Knight.
Yeah, just sell your IPs, let people who want to make games with them, and just make your pachinko machines, and just keep the rights for the pachinko machines.
They should do what Sega have been doing over the last few years. Even with their big IPs like Sonic and Streets of Rage, they've let third parties have a go at doing them. And let's face it, that's worked out well for them.
Sonic Mania has probably been the best received Sega game in goodness knows how long.
Absolutely.
And it's fan-made.
And Streets of Rage as well. Yeah, it's essentially a sanctioned fan game, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I was playing a 3D Sonic fan game, which was really good. And if Sega got them involved to make a proper 3D Sonic game, I think it could do really well. Be rated really well.
Which one was it you're playing? Robo Blast?
Omens?
Omens, yeah. That looks... Honestly, if I didn't know that was a fan game, I'd look at that and think, oh, Sonic Team have actually stepped up.
Yeah, I played it and thought, okay, this is the best 3D Sonic game I've played since Sonic Adventure 2.
With the exception of the voice acting.
Voice acting,
I capture it. I thought that was fantastic. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Bosses are freaking hard.
Yeah. I think Konami should do that.
Yeah.
Because think of all the... Like, obviously, I love Rocket Knight. Unfortunately, it's gone downhill from the first one. Yeah, Castlevania, Contra.
Yeah.
The other games that they did that I can't think of.
Suikoden?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, that game shop had Suikoden as well.
And you didn't buy it?
Yeah.
Disappointed. Not angry, just disappointed.
I was talking to the guy who went, oh, yeah. He says, occasionally we get rare games. And I went, I used to have Panzer Dragoon Saga. And he went, oh, what do you mean used to? And I went, I sold it. And he went, how much? I went, 70. And he went, he just mourned with me. You know, we had a minute of silence about it. Possibly Nintendo might be there, but I don't think so. I think they'll do their own Nintendo Directs that just randomly appear like a wild Pokemon in the tall grass.
Which they'll probably announce as a random thing.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a Nintendo Direct. Oh, when was it? Sorry. Oh, when is it? Oh, it was yesterday. Oh, thanks for the warning, Nintendo. There's probably one on now, actually.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Since there was no E3 this year, closest thing we're getting, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Now, as alluded to before, Sonic Origins is getting a patch, which it kind of needs. Have I been much about Sonic Origins to you?
Not actually as much as I expected you to.
There was a lot of issues, especially with Sonic 2. Sonic 2 was definitely the worst. One of the most annoying one is if Tails goes off the screen, he doesn't fly back on the screen, which on the surface of it doesn't sound that bad. You know, you don't need Tails, but instead he just tries to continuously jump to get to you. So throughout the whole of Sonic 2, all I could is whoop, 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 as he's off screen somewhere jumping, like the whole game.
Oof.
And I was like, oh, it drove me mad. Well, thankfully, the Gora fixed that in this patch,
Good.
as well as one that I didn't actually notice until someone pointed it out. A lot of the music tracks for Knuckles Chaotix that they've got in the sound test were all named wrong.
How the hell did they manage that?
No idea. I'm not well up with Knuckles Chaotic stages, so I never actually noticed that one.
The thing is, though, more so with the Tails one, did they not have proper testers?
Well, obviously not. But not only that, they had a base of the mobile port of Sonic 2, which was perfect.
Yeah.
So
Why not just use that?
no, they did.
Well, they managed that then.
They broke it. They broke it.
Well, that's just that, yeah.
There are some other bug fixes. The only other one that I can recall was the Sonic 3 and Knuckles bonus stages. The music never sped up with the actual stage, you know, as you get more and more.
Oh, I can imagine that making it so much harder, though.
Yeah, because there's like a rhythm to it. Well, they're fixing that as well. So the patches, if it's not already out by the time you listen to this, it's coming out very soon. Now, as always, before we get on to the last piece of news, if you would like to support the podcast, you can do so for free by leaving us a review. It's greatly appreciated. You can do this through your favourite podcasting app. Alternatively, if you're able, you can visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as £1 per month, where you'll get early ad-free versions of the episodes. And we'll give you a shout out at the beginning of the next episode.
So, with the full list of Genesis Mini 2 titles, we sadly don't have Bugsy the Bobcat.
Oh, do you know what? Everywhere I looked in Plymouth, I saw Bubsy. It was everywhere. Bubsy 2.
Is that because it's the Beta Manhuff effect?
Possibly. Or you've cursed me to forever see Bubsy everywhere now. Honestly, every single store I went in that had retro games, I saw at least 2 copies of Bubsy.
What can I say, except you're welcome?
No, they're everywhere because no one wants them. Shops can't get rid of them. Might as well just put them on a big pyre and just set it on fire.
Yeah,
actually,
possibly.
don't do that. Everyone will be breathing in like Bubsy fumes.
Everybody be just saying those little one-liners.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? So, thankfully, Bubsy is not on this final list. We did get a couple of games right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, from my point of view, no Rocket Knight Adventures, as I mentioned earlier on, I'm a big fan of. But there's quite a few on here. So, if we just really quickly go through the list, the games that were added to the Genesis Mini 2, and really quickly, they did also announce this is now coming to Europe, but no additional information, no price,
Right.
and they didn't say where you gotta get it from. I'm assuming it'll be Amazon, like it is for the Japanese and the US versions, but it is coming out on the 27th of October, same day as the other 2 versions.
Yeah.
So that's good. I have to make sure I pre-order it so I don't get scalped on this one as well. So the new titles that were announced, Atomic Runner, which is kind of like a run and gun, but like where the stage scrolls along with you.
Yeah, I don't think I've really played this one.
I have had a little go with it. It was okay. I don't think anyone really raves about it, but it's nice to see maybe a bit more of an obscure title on it.
Yeah. You say that, a few of these look fairly obscure.
Yeah, well, the next one's not necessarily obscure, but I'm really surprised it's on there. Clay Fighter.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it at all.
You don't remember Clay Fighter?
No. It's probably one of those where if I played it, I'd remember it straight away and probably remember it being rubbish.
Do you remember games like Primal Rage, where the dinosaurs were like sculpted out of clay? Like that, but they were like snowmen, Vikings. The sequel on the N64 actually had Earthworm Jim as a fighter as well.
No, I don't think I remember that.
It's not good. It's not as bad as Balls, if you remember that one.
I do, yeah.
It's not as bad as that, but it's very mediocre. I could think of plenty of better fighting games. In fact,
Yeah.
I'd struggle to think of any worse. The only one I can really think of is Time Killers. Do you remember that one?
Oh god, that was awful.
So, Crusader of Senti, or Salil, it was called over here. Basically, Legend of Zelda on the Mega Drive with a cameo from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Not a bad game.
No, a fantastic game.
We've got Desert Strike, Return to the Gulf.
Yeah.
The Desert Strike games, they're ones that a lot of people really enjoy. I didn't get into them too much, but they're a fun little game.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I would have thought maybe Jungle Strike or maybe Urban Strike. Some of the later versions of
Yeah.
Again, it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game.
It's not a bad game at all. Though Earthworm Jim 2, I love that game.
Yeah. Well, the first one had Earthworm Jim on them, so it kind of goes for reason that you got to get a sequel on here. But a fantastic game. Really, really well animated and really bizarre, isn't it? With,
definitely
Queen
the better of
What's-Her-Name.
the two.
Was it Queen What's Her Name or Queen What's Her Face?
Queen What's-Her-Face, I think. I also remember Bob the Goldfish.
That was the
Literally a
first game,
goldfish.
weren't it? Where it goes, ready, fight, and he just goes and eats it.
Yeah.
So, Elemental Master. Now, this is not a game I've played.
Me either. That's an obscure one.
Yeah. It might not be obscure, just definitely not played
We
it.
never played it, yeah.
So, Fatal Fury 2. So, at least we're getting a better beat 'em up on here now.
We are.
Game Ground. Now, I've not played the Mega Drive version of this, but the arcade version is okay. It's very
I've not played
primitive looking. Well, you'd say it's isometric, but it's not. It's top down. You ever played anything like Commando or...
Yeah, I've played Commando.
So you're going along shooting, but it's all on a single screen, and you've just got to get to the exit. But you have different characters. So one might have a bow, one might throw bombs, one might have a gun, and you've just got to either avoid or kill the enemies. But if you lose a life, you actually lose that character, and the next character can come in and rescue the character that you just lost.
That's quite cool.
So it's good. It's very primitive. I think it's quite an old game.
Yeah, well, they're all games, they're all Mega Drive games.
Okay, it's an older game. Golden Axe 2.
Great game.
Okay, follow up to Golden Axe. Possibly the best Golden Axe on the Mega Drive.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that, Mom. Got a bit of a Granada as well.
Have you ever played that?
I don't think I have.
It's a top-down.
Sure, it's not isometric.
No, it's top-down. It's like a top-down shooter where you just can move in like all 8 directions and just blow stuff up. It's supposed to be good. I've not actually played it though.
Yeah, wasn't
Hellfire?
Yeah, wasn't that like a Desert Strike type game? Or am I misremembering that entirely?
Do you know what? I can't think what this game is. So potentially I've not played it.
Well, the next one I've not even heard of.
Herzog Zwei.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something too.
I think I have played this one, but again, I can't remember it.
I don't even know the name of it. However, this next one is probably one of the earliest games I've played.
This next one, I'm surprised. I reckon you didn't know this was on the Mega Drive, and this is why you didn't pick it as your...
I did know it was on the Mega Drive. It's just, it's not as good as the Amiga version, which is what I started with and played.
I think the main reason this isn't as good is it's only single player on the Mega Drive.
Exactly, but Midnight Resistance, what a game. It's got some amazing music to it.
And loads of keys to collect if I remember right.
Well, yeah, you use the keys to upgrade your equipment.
Yeah.
But I love Midnight Resistance. Side-scrolling shooter.
Yeah. It's a good, like, Contra-style game, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant game. I loved it. One of the main games I played in the Amiga.
Next one, a Phantasy Star 2. So the previous one, I was going to say arguably, but definitively a best title in the series, Phantasy Star 4.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
Phantasy Star 2, I think that's a good title.
It's not a bad title at all. It's a decent game.
They have also apparently changed this so it's not quite as grindy as the original was.
Oh, that was the main issue with Phantasy Star 2. It did get very grindy as you got later in.
Do a couple of battles, go back to town, heal, go out, do a couple of battles, go back to town, heal,
Yeah.
and you just have to do that forever.
If they've changed that slightly, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a separate mode within the game that you can activate, or if it's just how the game is now.
Oh, I don't know. Good old bit of Populous.
Yeah, I used to love this on the Master System.
I didn't play it all too much. Wasn't my kind. It's still not my kind of game, to be fair.
In all fairness, I used to play the Master System version on the Game Gear. I have no idea how I could see what on earth was going on.
Neither do I. I'll be honest.
It's probably why my eyes are so messed up now.
Probably.
Rainbow Islands Extra. Can't beat a bit of Rainbow Island.
Yeah.
Nice,
can't beat
colourful
Rainbow.
game.
Yeah. This next game, though, I'm gutted I didn't have it on my list. The only reason I didn't have it on my list is because I was adamant it was on the first one. Rystar, the
Well,
best platformer on the Mega Drive.
After Sonic and Rocket Knight.
I did not stutter. I said what I meant.
You don't know what you mean.
Had the best music.
It had good music.
The best music.
No. This was on my list, though. I put
Yeah,
this on my
yeah.
Again,
Understandably so.
fantastic game. And I'm glad it's here.
Yeah.
Another great game that a lot of people who know about these games mention this, but I don't think it's widely known. Ranger X.
I've got to admit, I don't know it.
It's like a run and gun type game. But you've got like a jetpack, but you also have like a bike that follows you around that can assist you. And graphically, it's fantastic. So there's like stages where you can fly up in the air and you actually solar powered essentially to power up your weapons. But then you go down under the canopies, but as you're dropping down under the canopies, everything gets darker. Or there's stages where it's like it almost looks 3D, the background. It's fantastic.
Though this one was one of my picks, Shadow Dancer. Such a good game.
I'm not a big fan of this one, but it's nice to see it there. It's not a bad game. I'm not saying it's a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. It's just I was definitely a Revenge of Shinobi and Shinobi 3 fan more than Shadow Dancer.
Yeah, I enjoyed them all. Revenge of Shinobi was probably my favourite, but I enjoyed Shadow Dancer.
Yeah, and one of my favourite RPGs of all time.
I thought you said this one was actually on the first one, so I was surprised when I saw that on the list.
Yeah, I thought Shining Force 2 was on the first one. It must have been Shining Force 1.
Yeah, must have been. Well, Shining Force 2, I agree with you. Fantastic game.
Especially if you put in the cheats and you control the enemies as well. Spend 10 minutes renaming every single character.
Yeah, that or you just sit at the back with your healers and just buff each other so that you've got ridiculously powerful Master Monks.
Oh yeah, end up with like a ridiculously high leveled, was it Sarah as a Master Monk? And is it Kiwi, the tortoise dragon?
I never used Kiwi.
Oh, I did. He'd come in and like I remember getting him up to like I can't remember 50 HP or something, which wasn't that much, but everything did 1 damage.
I didn't have Sarah as a Master Monk.
Who did you have as the Master Monk?
Kana.
Was she not a Master Monk anyway?
No.
Who's the other Master Monk in it? Can you remember?
I can't.
I remember having 2 Master Monks, but yeah, they just absolutely decimated everything.
Oh yeah, well and truly. Well, especially when they were maximum level and could kill the last boss in 2 hits.
Yeah, well, we need Sega Saturn Mini now with Shining Force 3 and Irene, the Master Monk, in that. Because she was the same, she just decimated everything.
Yeah. It's such a shame that never actually got a proper English release. Shining Force 3 Part 2 and 3, I mean.
I've got fan-translated versions of them.
I think you got them off me.
No, I've got physical copies of fan-translated versions. I haven't actually played them, though.
If only I had a Saturn.
Wait, what?
I don't have a Saturn.
Oh, you don't have a Saturn?
Yeah, that's what I said. If only I had a Saturn.
Me?
No,
you're joking.
like 15?
Like 8 of them?
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got loads.
No, I need to go through them. I want to play through the first one, though, and do it properly. I had to get a fan-translated version of the first game, though, because apparently you can't carry the save for the second one.
Makes sense. Now, I will say, if I do play that again, I will have to annoy you again by having the main character using a rapier and Danteres using a javelin.
You're just a monster, aren't you? I just like big swords. What was his name? Symbiosis or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I was gutted when you lose Justin in there as well. Because I had them, Dantares and Sybil, and they just pushed up and just wiped everything out.
Telling you, Dantares with a javelin. Stay at the back line.
Nah,
launch those javelins.
Lance and Sybil with a halberd.
Sybil with a halberd, I will absolutely agree with.
Right, we're getting a bit...
We're getting right.
Let's go back to the Mega Drive.
Go into an actual third title, Streets of Rage 3.
Yeah, which yes, I think Streets of Rage 2 is better. Streets of Rage 3, there's the whole thing with the Western release being not as good as the Japanese, missing a character and being much harder than it needs to be.
Yes, but I think it's got the funniest reason for missing a character.
What? Everyone would be going, hashtag cancel Sega if they released it nowadays.
Possibly.
Yeah.
It was the design, that's for sure.
Yeah. At least still got Rue.
That's true.
So, after that, Super Hang-On.
I thought that was on the first one.
It's not a bad game.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't on the first one, because that's like a iconic Mega Drive game.
Yeah, again, it's one that everyone had as part of Mega Games.
Yeah. That's probably why it was so
remember.
iconic.
I was still playing this game when you had a PlayStation Gran Turismo. Because I come round and Gran Turismo on your PlayStation doing the Sunday GT to get the DMOA spec to resell it to get a little bit more money. And I go home and go, well, Super Hang-On's a bit like that game because you can buy engine upgrades and new bikes between races. And somehow I managed to trick myself into thinking, yeah, this is basically Gran Turismo, but on motorbikes.
Yeah, basically.
Spoiler alert, it's not.
You don't say. I don't think you need to spoiler alert that one.
Yeah. But no, it's a good game. It's good arcade-style motorbike racing.
Now, you've got to get the title of this one right.
Super Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers. It's actually one of the shorter names for Street Fighter 2, actually.
Yeah, it kind of is. But there was just so many different versions of Street Fighter 2.
Thankfully, unlike the Mega Drive Mini 1 and the Genesis Mini 1, which came with Street Fighter, the World Warrior, the new challenge, whichever Street Fighter 2 that came with. The Western versions came with a 3-button controller, so you had to keep pressing start to switch between punches and kicks. Thankfully, these all come with 6-button controllers.
That's good.
So you can play it properly, and this one was the introduction of Cammy, DJ, Fei... Was it Fei Long?
Oh, I can't remember.
I always get his name mixed up, and T-Hawk. So you've got 4 extra characters.
Another one I picked. Revenge of Shinobi.
Yeah.
So you get the best of both worlds. You get Shadow Dancer and Revenge of Shinobi.
Yeah. Both solid games. As I say, I'm more of a Revenge of Shinobi kind of guy.
Brilliant game. Brilliant
Another game I enjoyed, Toe Jam and Earl, Panic on Funkatron.
I'm surprised this wasn't on your list. I remember we played a lot of Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah, but we played a lot more of the first one, didn't we?
Yeah, it's true, we did.
I remember playing this. Oddly enough, another fella knew had this game.
I liked the split screen mechanic on these.
Well, this one, it was the side-scrolling, so if I remember right, you were always on the same screen.
Yes.
It was the first game that had the split screen, which the first time you see it where it like divides itself, I was like, oh, that's really cool. But then when you were just on the peripheral of each other's screens and it kept joining and then splitting and then joining and splitting and joining and splitting, that got really annoying, really quick.
Yeah. But it was a cool way of doing it.
Yes. And Panic on Funkatron, it's a fun game. It's very colourful, quite weird. Well, it's Toe Jam and Earl, of course. It's
got to be weird.
Now, the next one's a bit of a fan favourite. I'm not a massive fan of this one.
I've not heard of it. Not heard of it.
There's a YouTuber, I can't think who it is. I think it's something like Classic Games Room. And I'm sure he always goes on about it. And I think he's kind of like single-handedly made this modern appreciation for this game. I went keen on it. It's a shoot 'em up. It's okay.
Fair enough.
Now,
is this not a part of Excel or Microsoft Office?
Viewpoint?
Yeah.
I'm failing to see the connection here.
No, I've not heard of it before.
Oh, well, you'll be glad to know this one is actually isometric.
Hey, you sure it's not just top down?
No, it is actually isometric. So this one is a 2/3 view, so it's not quite a vertical shooter, it's not a horizontal shooter, it's a diagonal shooter.
It's an isometric shooter.
Isometric shooter, yes. And you're going diagonally up the screen rather than vertically or horizontally. So this one you can say is isometric.
I'm not going to, just to be that guy.
You're always that guy. Now, the last cartridge-based title is Warsong, and I have no idea what game this is.
I've not heard of it before. A few of these have caught me off guard because I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I think some of them are a little bit deeper cuts than you would normally expect on something like this.
Yeah.
Now, going on to the Sega CD and the Mega CD titles, you've got the Sega CD version of Echo the Dolphin and Echo the Tides of Time.
Brilliant games.
Do you know,
I know you're not a fan of them. You find them a bit repetitive and the like, but I think they're good games.
I didn't mind the first one. The alien stages and the boss kind of like
Oh, God, yeah.
freaked me out quite a bit, to be honest. I never got into Tides of Time. I just couldn't get into it.
I enjoyed it. It was more Echo than Elfid, mind.
Final Fight CD?
I can't think if I've played this one.
Have you ever played Final Fight? Capcom's version of Streets of Rage?
Yeah,
So,
played Final Fight.
this one graphically wasn't as good as the Super Nintendo version. Although there was 2 versions released for the Super Nintendo, neither of them offered 2-player co-op. Which, in a game like this, what's the point of having it if you can't do 2-player co-op?
Yeah, you've got to have
Like
to play
CD version did. So it was seen as being like the best console version at the time.
I think I had Final Fight on the Amiga.
It was on the Amiga, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, I don't remember it being good.
This is a little bit better than the Amiga version if you did have that one.
Yeah, I think I'm probably remembering it most fondly from the arcade version,
Yes.
which is obviously the best version.
We've got Robo Lest. This is another, I think this, if I remember right, this one's a vertical shooter.
I'm not sure, though this next one, controversial.
Oh, yeah. You know, parents will be out, ban them Genesis Mini too.
Yeah.
It's the murder simulator for murdering young women.
About 2 months ago, I saw the video game Night Trap for the first time. It is a sick, disgusting video game, in my judgment. It's an effort to trap and kill women.
Yeah.
Night Trap.
How? I'm actually surprised that this is on here.
I'm not. It was definitely one of the definitive Mega CD and Sega CD titles, weren't it?
I know,
For better
but
or worse.
it's just more how. I suppose maybe it's not going to have the same sort of reception that it had. I don't know.
Well, the reception was completely wrong about the game.
It was. I'm not going to disagree with that.
The whole point is to save the girls.
Yeah.
They're going into Congress. This game teaches children how to murder young women. And you're like, what? Have you played the game?
Of course
It's
they've not played the game.
as anything.
Of course they've not played the game. They never play games when they're saying that they're responsible for everything.
Yeah. The next one, Super Shark.
Never heard of it.
Right. Imagine Road Avenger, except you're in a sewer pipe the entire game.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
That doesn't sound great.
It's kind of like an on-rail thing, and you have to make sure you go down the right pipes. If you take the wrong turn in, the pipe's a dead end. You hit it, you die. You blow up. That's basically it.
Sounds pretty terrible.
Now, on top of these, you do also get some bonus titles, some of which we already knew about from the Japanese one.
Yep.
So, Deviant Pie, which is kind of a breakout style game. Do you know, with a little paddle that goes along the bottom? And you're bouncing little devils around the screen to free the little cherubs or angels. Yeah, that's all I know about it. Now, these were games that were never actually released.
Yeah.
Or, so they were either cancelled, or the games that have been ported to the Mega Drive after the fact.
Yeah.
Next one, Space Harrier 2. Now, this actually came out on the Mega Drive, but this includes Space Harrier 1 and 2, and apparently has much better scaling of objects as they're flying towards you.
Okay, that's good.
Kind of improved one, but from what I've seen, it has quite a lot of flicker, which I don't remember Space Harrier 2 having on the Mega Drive.
I didn't play a lot of it. It's not my kind of game, to be fair.
I did. I just remember, welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready, and game over. And I'm like, oh, okay, I played it. Splatter? I don't know what this game is. I've forgotten.
That says everything you really need to know about it, to be fair.
Yeah, I really can't remember what this game was. I only looked at it a few days ago as well. Next one is Verse Puyo Puyo's Son. Now, this was actually I think it was a Titan arcade title. So basically an arcade version of the Saturn. A bit like the Naomi was to the Dreamcast. And this is being demade for the Mega Drive. I think it's been done by M2. And the last title is Super Locomotive, which is another arcade game. Now, again, I think this was done by M2 and ported to the Mega Drive recently.
Right.
It's kind of like a fan project.
Fair enough.
So, there is there is quite a lot of good games on here. Now,
Yeah.
these do actually vary quite a bit from the Japanese one. Japanese one, it's more Japanese focused.
Yeah.
But two titles that I'm gutted we're not getting is the two Luna titles. Because they were really good Mega CD RPGs, and unfortunately they're missing on here. In fact, I think the Japanese version gets like 6 extra Mega CD games.
Really?
Yeah, overall I think the number of games is the same.
Yeah.
But the Western release is getting less Mega CD games and a few more cartridge games instead.
Well, that's a shame.
Although in all fairness, two of the Mega Drive mini games in Japan are quiz games, so I'm not too fussed about them.
So when are we expecting to see these?
These are getting released on the 27th of October. Unfortunately, you can't order the Genesis Mini 2 to get delivered to the UK, but you can order the Mega Drive Mini 2 from Japan, from Amazon, if you did want to. But thankfully, they have finally announced that it is coming to Europe as well, and it's coming same day, 27th of October.
That's good.
Yeah. So
Now you'll just get your pre-ordering.
yeah, I just need to know where it's going to be sold. I know when it's coming. I don't know how much or where to get it from, though.
When in doubt, Amazon.
Well, the other two regions, this is exclusive to Amazon, so I'm assuming for the UK and Europe, it's going to be pretty much the same.
Oh, I'd imagine so.
Yeah. But no, there's definitely some good games on here.
Yeah. There's also some games that we've never heard of, but there is definitely good games on them.
Yeah, definitely. Like, to be honest, I think this is worth it alone for titles like Shining Force 2 and Shining Force CD.
Go on by Alien Soldier.
Yeah, Alien Soldier, exactly.
That pays for it.
Rise Star, another great game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's anything like the Mega Drive Mini 1, it'll be hacked in no time, and they'll let you put your own games on it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. I think we've come to the end now.
Yep.
A few little detours along the way.
Us have details? Never.
Well, once again, thanks for popping on and talking about Mega Drive games. So I'm not trying to lead Anthony going, yeah, Mega Drive, yeah, it's a games console before the internet existed.
It's a games console that didn't have Spyro. Well, that has been another episode of Retro Gaming Dads.
Yep. Thanks for listening. So maybe some more information about... Ow. I've just punched the desk.
Yeah, no, I heard it. I heard it. That sounded like it hurts. So, in shocking news, in the full list of Genesis Mini 2 titles, we haven't had Conker's Bad Fur. No, Conker's Bad Fur Day. What am I on about?
That was the N64 and Xbox. What are you on about?
I'm
Mr.
losing the
Nuts.
plot.
That's
I'm
closest I can
losing
think
the
of.
plot. Losing the plot.
Do you want to try that again?
Yeah.